Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You got Bert wearing the Buckeyes hat, and you got your boy Lanny over here, the DD guys. And today we're going to talk about a big dividend growth stock that is beaten down because they went up to the batter's box, took a swing and missed.
That is absolutely right. But before we dive into this stock, subscribe to this channel. Give this video thumbs up. Let's freaking go. Holler for your boys, the Dividend Diplomats. And it's probably a little late to get a Diplomats mug in your stocking here for everybody, but don't forget to check out that store down there below.
Check out that swag store, guys, the DD guys. But yeah, and for those that are celebrating Christmas Eve this morning, Merry Christmas Eve. We're talking about a stock that released earnings on December 21st at night, and they really swung and missed on estimates, but they actually were still up versus prior year. But really, it's about what they're saying, I think, that is causing the stock price. Again, this is being recorded before the market opened on Friday the 22nd, so we'll have to really see how it shakes out at the end of the day. But we are talking about Nike, ticker symbol NKE, Bert.
And as they say, just do it. Do
Just
it.
do it.
Do
Just
it.
do it,
Do it.
man.
I know we are pumped up to talk to you about this great stock because whenever I see Nike with a massive drop, you always have to evaluate to see if that is the right time to do it. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about what caused the drop. We'll run them through the screener, which has three metrics: PE ratio less than the S&P 500, payout ratio less than 60%, history of increasing those dividends, and that bonus metric, the dividend yield. Lanny, you want to give a quick summary here of what went down for Nike?
Yeah. Big headliner is Nike misses quarterly sales estimates on weak wholesale business and China demand, guys. They reported $13.39 billion of revenue, missed expectations of 13.43 billion. So not by much, but they were actually up a little bit versus the same period last year, which was 13.32 billion. So up versus last year, did not meet expectations this year. And that sent shares tumbling right now in the after hours market. They're trading at 122.50 and some change, and that's plummeting their stock to about 108 and change.
Oh,
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's fascinating here. And I mean, again, I wonder how this is going to be like, if how much of this is foreshadowing for what's going to be coming over the next month or the next two, as more companies start to release their earnings. But I mean, some of those quotes that are coming out of the earnings release and the articles are pretty interesting here. More cautious consumer behavior around the world. Too many products that are not high enough margin for Nike. So how many other companies are going to be stuck with like in a similar boat? I'm assuming consumer demand's going to be slowing down elsewhere too. So are there more low margin companies like a Nike that are just going to get pounded because of it?
Yeah, I think a lot of the brands were moving to the wholesale market delivery, like, hey, consumer, go right to us and we'll ship it right out to you. Especially during, the COVID time period, hey, everybody's flush with cash. We don't need the department stores anymore. We can just make all the money ourselves. And now they're finding out that, oh, wait, maybe we might need to go back to the department store model as well. But being that sentence of more cautious consumer behavior around not just the US, but around the world, probably is the same sentiment that we're hearing from most brands slash retailers, right, Bert?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So that's why it's so fascinating that they released this earlier compared to all the other companies. So you can kind of start seeing what those tea leaves are.
Yeah, and we're right in the holiday season too. So again, not really optimistic, but the big thing that they're trying to do now is they're trying to cut costs, guys, by $2 billion right now. They're trying to cut $2 billion in costs, squeeze it so tight over the next 3 years. So I'm sure quality might be involved, people will more than likely be involved, as well as, again, similarly, product mix. Do they, stop doing a few lines? Do they,
Yeah,
again, only
it's
focus on a few products?
Yeah, I mean, when stuff like this happens, you have to make the hard choices. All those, the extra cash to go around for the experimental products, for the experimental type things, evaporates when you're hemorrhaging money. So that's the crazy thing that's going to happen with Nike.
I couldn't agree more. So, guys, we're going to run them through the stock screener as Bert indicated. Nike right now, stock prices are as of December 21st. So, we're trying to see here with you in the community. Before we do, let us know. Do you guys own Nike stock? Has Nike been a staple in your dividend stock portfolio? Let us know in the comments and then let us know after the metrics. Is this a stock to buy right
Yeah, so let's jump right in. Nike's price is
now?
122.53. The EPS using those 2024 expectations of 373, that gives you a PE ratio of 32.85.
So 32.85 at the $122 price point. If that price drops to 108, you're still high at the 29
Yeah.
range of the PE benchmark.
It's a beautiful shock analysis, Lanny. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
shock.
That
Yeah.
you shock it, just shock the crap
Yeah.
out of it, man.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the payout ratio. Because obviously, when you hear about lower sales, lower earnings, lower expectation, you instantly want to look at that payout ratio to see how safe is that dividend that Nike's paying. Do you have an issue? Do you think the dividend may be cut? Nike's annual dividend is $1.36. That gives you a payout ratio of 36.46%. Pretty safe dividend based on those metrics.
Safe dividend, safe enough to keep up with the nice dividend growth rate that they have, Bert, which they've been doing for 11 plus years. And they don't really miss a beat. This is a very steady Eddie dividend increase, almost like, hey, Jordan kept winning championships. LeBron is dominating the league. The most consistent dividend here, guys, 10 to 13%, really in that range over the last 5 years. Average rate's about 11%.
LeBron keeps winning that in-season tournament. So what you were about to say, what?
That's it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Cleveland,
Do you
this
get
is the
get the pinky ring for that? Like, is all you get. Oh.
man. Just the kid from Akron, something that we share. So 11
Yeah.
years of growing dividends, Bert. Any concerns with them continuing to grow this dividend?
No, you might see slower dividend growth, but there's no concerns from my end that their dividend growth is going to stop.
So, Bert, with the stock where it's at right now, what's the yield? But what is also the yield if it drops to 108?
All right. Their current yield is 1.11%. If the 108 holds, that's going to drop. I mean, that's not going to drop. That price is going to drop. That yield's going to shoot up to 1.26%. So from 1.11% to 1.26% if Nike's price does indeed drop to the 108, like we're seeing in the after hours market right now.
Mm, really liking this. So, up right now 3%. More than likely, they're going to be down year to date. 1 year price, they're up 5% since last year. Obviously, if price actually happens, it will be down over the last 52 weeks. Their 5 year dividend yield on average, when Bert brought up 1.11 and could shoot up to over 1.25, their 5 year average is 0.94.
Hmm.
So they are currently sitting in some form of premium standpoint right now.
Very interesting here. So obviously, let's run through the metrics here and then give our final thoughts here with Nike. PE ratios at 32.85, but it'll drop to around 29 if the price in the after hours market hold. Payout ratio is 36.46%. 5 year growth rate's 11.20, increase for 11 years. And their yield is currently at 1.11%. It'll increase to over 1.25% if that price drops the way it's looking in the after hours market. Lanny, what are your thoughts on Nike?
Just do it. I mean, it's a brand that's not going anywhere. I mean, I see
Mhm.
toddlers wearing it at the school when I pick my son up. I
Yeah.
see everybody rocking the shoes and the jackets still from all ages. Sports aren't going anywhere. If anything, they're getting more competitive with what college can do with the NIL, right, Bert?
Oh yeah. Yeah, getting in a lot earlier. And that's the thing. Nike has that brand power. How many times have you heard about the Adidas run? Remember that big Steph Curry Under Armour run where Under Armour was going to take over the world, take down Nike, take down everything. Yeah, that's what happened with that. So Nike just has had this way where they just dominate. And that's something that's unique to them.
Yeah, very unique. So I don't know. I mean, it would probably have to crack below 100 for me to really start thinking
Mhm.
about, okay, is it time to move? Maybe if you check our Saturday video, some of this Warner Media Brothers Discovery Paramount move money over here. I know Bert and I, even with the Diplomats investment portfolio, maybe there's a opportunity to maybe do some, I don't know, some options on this thing.
Yeah,
Um,
there's
you know,
it's true. I mean, and this is great play. I mean, they've always traded at a premium. They have earned that high PE ratio. So when stocks like this drop, it makes you think, even though it has a very high PE ratio, it's lower than its average. Is this the time to try and swoop in and get a historically high PE ratio company for a slightly lower one?
Nike reminds me a lot of Microsoft.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great comparison. What was that early, right before the Chat GBT boom, when Microsoft was trailing? Then they did the investment, and then the price just went whoop, just shot right back up, and you missed out on your opportunity to grab them.
So keep that in mind, guys. But the big question now is, are you buying this stock? Is this a stock to buy right now? Is Nike on your radar, investors? A lot of people have this as one of the first stock or first couple stocks that they own is Nike. So let us know what you feel about Nike stock. Is this a good time to jump in? Are you waiting like we are, maybe looking at the $100 price point as
Yeah,
the entry point? Let us know in the comments.
if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and Lanny, what do we need to tell
Let
the
me tell you something, brother. You got Bert the Hart and Lanny over here. We're putting out content, Jack. So you got to subscribe, like, and if you're not with us, then you're against us, Jack. That was Bert the Hurt and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.